Welcome back. Do remember, all our top stories can be found on our website, and that's channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Do visit m.channelstv.com to see us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to encourage you to use the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. In the southwestern region of the country, in the nation's commercial capital, hundreds of Islamic faithful converged on the prayer ground in Dodon Barracks in Lagos to observe the Eid-el-fitri prayers. Prominent Nigerians, including the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Mrs. Oluranti Adebule, and the Majority Leader in the House of Representatives, Femi Gbadabiamila, condemned acts of religious extremism. They said the present economic situation demands that Nigerians should treat everyone as equal, irrespective of religious and ethnic affiliations. The Chief Imam of Lagos, Sheikh Mohammed Ibrahim, urged those in leadership positions to imbibe self-sacrifice and shun greed, ensuring that promises made to the electorate are fulfilled.
We must pay particular attention to all that is happening around us. I know those ones are some of the things that one experiences at this difficult and critical period, but Islam condemns bombing, Islam condemns evil. Islam does not uphold anything other than peace.
We are adequately prepared with all the advisories that have been issued, with all the threats that have been issued. We've in place security in synergy with other sister agencies in most of the places, in all the places where we are going to observe these Eid prayers, in our hotels, in our recreation centers. If you've come here earlier, you'll find out that I've taken a foot patrol along the street to see what is being done at Syrian Mosque, and I have officers and our sister agencies in other places coordinating and monitoring what is happening in all the places.
We've taken a look at how Eid-el-Fitri was celebrated in Abuja, in Lagos. Now let's take a look at the other states in the Nigerian Federation and how they observed the Eid-el-Fitri. Amidst tight security, men, women, and children trooped out in large numbers to participate in the customary prayers, which were relatively peaceful.
It's early morning in Damaturu, the Yobe state capital. The roads are free from vehicular traffic owing to a 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. restriction of movement order. Men, children, and women, most carrying nothing but their prayer mats, walk to various Eid praying grounds and subject themselves to scrutiny at the entry points. At the Islamic Center in the state capital, the Deputy Governor, Abubakar Aliyu, leads government officials and other faithful to offer thanks to Allah for the success of the Ramadan fast. Hundreds of Muslim faithful in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, pouring through the gates to celebrate the Eid amidst heavy security. Governor Kashim Shettima is among worshippers. This is the first Salah in 2 years that vehicular movement is allowed in the state. In Kaduna State, Governor Nasiru El-Rufai joins faithful on the prayer grounds. He admonishes the youth to enjoy themselves within the laws of Islam.
I call on all of them to be law-abiding, to ensure that they enjoy themselves within the context of Sharia and what is allowable under our religions.
And in Ilori, the Kwara state capital, scores of worshippers arrive at the prayer ground only to discover that prayers have already been offered before the stipulated time of 10 a.m., owing to rumors of a planned disturbance by local government workers to protest the non-payment of salaries. Prayers, though, were concluded without any incident. Down south in Ogun and Osun states, Muslim faithful joined their northern counterparts to celebrate the end of the Ramadan fast, praying for peaceful coexistence between all faiths. The governors of both states urge pious living according to the teachings of the faith. In Benin City, the Edo State capital, Muslim faithful gathered to offer the Rakat prayers to mark the end of the Ramadan fast.
Allahu Akbar.
And in the spirit of the season, the Cross River State Governor, Ben Ayade, has congratulated Muslims across the country for the successful month of Ramadan.
We must embrace love. We must put an end to who is Christian, who is Muslim. It doesn't exist beyond here. It's an ethnic salabalization. It's an ethnic separation of who is what.
Also in Anambra and Delta states, Muslim faithful gather for prayers. Muslim faithful all over the nation are glad for a peaceful Eid-el-fitri celebration in spite of the economic and security challenges.
Now, for more on the Eid-el-Fitri celebrations, I'm now joined on News Across Nigeria by a Muslim faithful and member of the Board of Trustees, Riverview Estate Community Mosque, Alhaji Timi Shodunke. Alhaji Shodunke, you're welcome to News Across Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Let me also say happy Eid-el-Fitri to you.
Thank you very much.
We're living in times of religious extremism. There were just attacks in Medina, attacks in Bangladesh, right, in France, in Florida, and even in the Northeast, where the military is doing their bit to handle this problem.
Yeah.
How does one continually put forward that message of peace and tolerance?
Okay. Thank you very much. In the name of Almighty Allah, the merciful, the beneficent. We actually live in very, very difficult times now. Faith, religion is an absolute thing, and it's actually personal between an individual and his creator. But what we see in the world today is politicization of these issues. Politics of regions, of states, for economic strength, or for whatever interests that might be pushing behind the scene the aggressors as we do have today. It is a clear case of taking faith or taking religion and mixing it up with politics. And that is what we get, the explosions we're having everywhere in the world, including the northeastern part of Nigeria.
So therefore the Islamic State, Boko Haram, and other radical organizations like that?
They are all creations of political, would I say, machinations. They are all political animals, I'll tell you. Like I said, religion in Islam, which in itself means peace, and who is called the Muslim? The Muslim means those that have submitted themselves to the will of their creator. Now, if you do submit yourself to the will of your creator, you need to constantly live in the consciousness of his ever-probing eyes, constantly in the light of his presence. And if you would consider that as a fact of life, then you wouldn't, for whatever positioning or posturing or, would I say, machinations, that you would condescend to the point of taking arms and killing others. In actual fact, what it takes for a Muslim to kill another human being, the atonement is a far cry from this month of Ramadan, as in the amount of time, duration he must go on on what we call atonement fasting. It is unbelievable. If you kill another Muslim, like we just saw in Medina, if you kill another Muslim, you actually need to expiate, in an attempt to expiate yourself from the wrath of your Creator, you need to fast for 60 days non-stop. So if you count how many Muslims another so-called political element called ISIL, called Boko Haram, or what have you, must have added into their debt, their quota, I tell you, perhaps till the day each of them will die, they should constantly be fasting.
That's why it's also appreciable the steps the government in Nigeria is taking. We've been reporting on channels, television, security presence heavily across the country.
That's right.
But what does the month of Ramadan signify? The number of fasting days. What does that mean exactly?
All right. Thank you very much. Islam, as we know, is predicated on 5 basic pillars, and fasting in the month of Ramadan is actually the 4th of the 5 pillars. Now, why do we fast? It is actually a directive, is an injunction on every Muslim to do. And I will just quote in English language for you. Surah Baqarah, that's the 2nd verse of the Quran, the 2nd chapter of the Quran, verses 183 to 84. And it says, O believer, and I want you to underline that, you must fast so that you may learn self-restraint. Fasting is prescribed for you for a fixed duration in the month of Ramadan, which is the 9th month of the lunar calendar, so that you may safeguard yourself against spiritual and moral ills. Now, of a lot of the other acts of trying to be in the good light of the Almighty Creator, this particular command on mankind is perhaps the only one we don't really know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends to do with it, the Almighty Creator. But this is one, he says, it is for Him. Every other thing you may do is usually for yourself. But this one He mandates, and the exclusions from fasting are very few. Perhaps someone that is mentally not all right, wouldn't even know the essence of having to fast. The little and the very aged are exempted. However, such exemptions don't go without another clause. Where you are exempted, then you must, in an attempt to show that you are complying with the obligation, you are enjoined to then provide food twice a day for a fasting Muslim. So no one is exempted in the real sense of it. Once you come up to the age of being able to, say like age 9, you want to encourage the children to fast. And it's only the old and infeeble ones that are also exempted.
Finally, we've heard messages from the governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode, governor of Oyo State, the president himself, urging tolerance, urging peaceful coexistence. Do you think that this message is getting to people who could be influenced by political leanings and radicalization across not just the country, but even the world?
Even the world, yeah.
Because something must be, there must be a catalyst for walking outside what you say are the holy tenets.
True. And thank you very much for that question. And I want to go back on the essence of Ramadan itself. It's self-restraint such that you protect your soul from spiritual and physical moral ills. Now, taking 1 month out of the 12 lunar months to do this is actually a sort of training, trying to immerse yourself in the constant consciousness of your Creator. And if you are able to do that over a month, a whole 30-day period or 29, depending on when the moon is sighted, it is expected that you continue to lead your life in that same fashion. And if you're able to do that, then you will see that's where it meets or crossroads with those exact preachings by all the leaders of thought in the nation, as you just mentioned, trying to maintain peace, be friendly, help the poor. In the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually tells us that any good you do in this month, He multiplies it, I think it's 100-fold. Typically, for any good deed, you get 10-fold reward, but in this month, 10 of 10. And so everybody strives to, to bank that goodness for himself, for the hereafter. And if you're able to do that over 30 days consciously, except you are, I wouldn't know how to put it.
A spawn of the devil.
Exactly. You wouldn't just grow out of that 30-day, thing you've just gone through.
And do evil.
Exactly. And if in every 12 months you do this, perhaps before you wane off completely on the path, it's another 12 months. You're back into Ramadan.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
You're
I'm a
welcome.
Christian, but you were so convincing, you almost...
Oh my goodness. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir,
Thanks
for
having
sharing
me.
with us your thoughts and your expertise on the Muslim fast. A Muslim faithful and member of the Board of Trustees, Riverview Estate Community Mosque, Alhaji Timi Shodunke, we've been speaking with on the Eid-el-fitri celebrations. You're watching news across Nigeria. Coming up, the governor of Nasarawa State speaks on healthcare delivery. Please stay with us.